topless acum, nu mai e rost. A, uite la Sorin, e la cortul media. Imediat. Stop, stai un pic să fac zoom-ul. Adică să-l repun. Eu zic că e bine, așa e bine, e perfect. Numai dacă ar sta un pic mai așa, se vadă steagul, știi? Nu, te-ai dus prea mult. Superb, da. Da. Imediat vine. Acum vine să tot cu tricou. Ăla are la purtătură. Da, 2 minute să-și tragă sufletul. Ce? Apex, nu, vezi pe acolo, keep going on on. Atât se face. Doar să dai on. E dat? Pe... Nu, aia e tot, alt. Da, eu, mai trebuie. Să se văd puțelele. Așa, ok. It's okay? Bun. Atenție.
Hello everybody. We are getting ready to start the live feed. We're getting ready to start the endurance event. So if you want to see some motorsport, you know where the spectators, the best seats are in the house for this fantastic event that we will have today. In the meantime, enjoy the good weather, the hot, and the wetness always. Good morning, Desh! Welcome to Formula Student Balkans 2026, last event of this season's Formula Student here in the Niresh circuit, TNT karting circuit here in Desh. We will be seeing today, we have prepared for you a perfect and almost perfect schedule in the endurance event. We will see plenty of cars running around our track here. The circuit has already been perfectly conified. We modified slightly the circuit from the track in the autocross yesterday. We simplified a little bit as the pilots will be doing the endurance event, which puts a very strong strain on their physical and mental capabilities. So we always try to make it slightly simpler to make it better for the enjoyment and better for the pilots also. We want to make sure that nobody gets too tired later on, so they cannot get out of the car on their own foot. In the meantime, here today we see already the team from Poznan preparing the E024 car to enter this track, this endurance event. And you see not much activity behind me right now in the spectators area because all the teams are in the pits getting their cars ready, which is a very, very good sign. Prior today we had Timișoara getting their engine checked, their engine ready for racing today here around the track. The conditions today are perfect, as always. Nice weather, nice sun coming down to us today. A very hot, hot day already. It's 10 in the morning here in Desh. It's am murit. It's very hot here in Desh today. We have already 28 degrees. And we will be having, we are expecting very, very hot temperatures as we are getting as the day progresses, of course. In the meantime, we don't expect any rain right now. We may get some rain in the afternoon, but by that time, the endurance event will have already finished. We expect this endurance event to take in the whereabouts of 2-3 hours, most likely. And for everybody that is staying at home, we want to make this event as pleasant as possible, as good as possible. We want you to have fun, and of course, we want you to come next year also here in the TN karting circuit for Formula Students Balkans 2027. We still do not know the dates for that event yet, but for sure it will be fun. For it will be nice. And the fun is always guaranteed with us. We already start seeing some of the teams coming around the road along the track. Some of the Polish supporters already gathering up to see their car perform on this track. We have a fantastic viewing point for the spectators along the road, which is slightly higher than the rest of the circuit, so there is a perfect view of all the track. And in the meantime, we see that the campsite is completely deserted, which is a fantastic sign for the endurance event, as the teams will gather 100% on the spectators area to see everything go as smooth as possible along this track. We have prepared for you a day full of adrenaline, a day full of gasoline, and some electrodes for the EV fans. And for everybody at home, we will prepare also some interviews, some of the teams. We will have some fun along the way, and we will just jerk them off a bit to make sure that they can handle the pressure of being in a motorsport circuit. In the meantime, they keep me talking in here while nothing is happening. We see that the timing guys are as bored as me right now. We see that the marshals are nowhere to be seen. They are very fucking and lazy guys. They always wait until the very, very last moment to get into their positions on the track. But we don't judge them too hard, as it's 10 in the morning in here, it's 5 in the morning in Fortaleza, Brazil. The weather in there is slightly wetter than one we have in here, but the temperature is similar. But as we are not on the Amazon, we are lost in another kind of asphalt jungle. Life is hard. Life is hot, and marshals are going to get very hot today also. Enjoy, have fun, and we will be with you in a moment as we take positions to start preparing for this endurance event. More fans starting together next to the track. Our drone is already in the air. The music is loud. Final briefings for all our teams. Final briefings for the pilots that we will be running along the track. We saw them this morning doing the reconnaissance lap, which means getting their boots dirty along the asphalt of this very nice circuit. And as all these preparations are completed, the only thing to do is motorsport. Dennis will be our track manager here today, waving the red? No. Green flag, fuck. I'm tired also. I've been sleeping an average 2 hours the last past days, and this is starting to take a toll. So how are we doing today, Dennis?
Well, we're very close to starting. We have the E021 almost ready to start. 24, my bad. I have very bad sight, it seems.
You're supposed to be the event manager of this event, and you do not even know what are the cars are we running here today. That is at least shameful. Yeah, no further words from Dennis. There is nothing else to be said. And I promise you that I will not give you any more of these embarrassing interviews here today during this endurance event. All the rest of the interviews will be funner. We will be making fun of everybody that stands close to us. So please, do stand close to us. If you're watching from home, if you're watching from the track, if you're watching from the tilt test or the welding area, Timmy, make sure to have fun. Make sure to enjoy the cars. Make sure to enjoy the teams, the atmosphere, and everything that comes in between. Did you already have your matcha latte here today? Everybody thinks always that motorsport runs on gasoline and alcohol, but it's not true. It runs on smooth, soothing massages and matcha lattes. Get your matcha latte today for free. Just say that come from the organizing team, and everybody will get a free matcha latte at our specialty coffee shop at the reception. In the meantime, as Dennis properly said, we have Poznan Technical University with the car ready and waiting to enter the queuing zone of this endurance track. And we have UPB Drive with their hybrid 069 very fueled up and warming up the engine as we are preparing for this starting of this endurance event today. This is what we like to see. We have car E024 lining up already. We have the marshals already getting excited. We have the marshals already getting excited. We see Dennis with the green flag waiting for the marshals to get in position, signaling them to go to their stations. And car 024 electric 024 is getting in position. Final checks for car E024, and we remind all the teams that they are not allowed in the dynamic area without the vests. We have a green flag. Car E024 starting this endurance event here today. going around the first corner of what will be a very, very long process.
Da, l-am pus pe wide, îl pun la cortul mediu. Ca ieri.
Flying across the track, car E024 has already completed half of the first lap. Winding down silently around the wards. The only thing cars are really good is for drive-by shootings because they never will see you coming. And coming by in front of us, trying to get you a bit of noise as the car passes in here, and definitely the wheels squeak. Completing the first lap of the endurance event. We will have timing for you very soon as we're waiting for the results of the first lap. The car has the second lap here today. Passing in front of us for the completion of this lap already. Silently winding down again on the far end of the track, and you will say, we do not hear the car. Don't worry, we don't either. It's a silent car. It's the type of car that will fuck you up in the night when you are walking down a road coming from behind. No headlights, no... No problem so far, and we hope they don't have any along this very stressful endurance event. Stressful for the drivers, stressful for the teams that are watching from the spectator area, trying to understand what is going on with the car if something goes wrong. But nothing is going wrong at the moment, which is fantastic. At the completion of this perfect lap, this third lap without so far. coming on this second overtake area in this circuit, winding down on this fourth lap of the track. You would be looking at this car thinking whether it is a kart, and it's not a go-kart, even if the tires are the same size, because go-karts actually make motorsport noise, like electric scooters. We promise you next year an electric scooter category, so the electric vehicles feel at home also in this track, not only surrounded by petrol heads. Also, quick announcement for all the team members. We remind everybody that we gave the vouchers for the free Thai massages to your team captains. So ask each of your team captains for the redeemable free Thai massage vouchers. In the meantime, we're on the fifth lap in here as we see Timmy doing their thing, and their thing is not preparing the car. It's actually completely changing the configuration again. Remember guys, there is no welding at the queuing for the endurance. In any case, Timmy seems to be working on the pre-scrutineering as E24 flies by in front of us for the fifth time, completing this of the almost half of workload for the pilot in this for the first pilot in this endurance event. We are going to be seeing the cars today in reverse order as we saw them in the autocross event yesterday. Not as we saw them in the autocross event yesterday, but as the times they obtained in the autocross event yesterday, which means that the next car that we will be seeing is the Hybrid 3-1 Timisoara. Leave me the fuck alone, I know what I'm doing. Words to live by. This is the driver that we have right now speaking, stopping at the end of this, giving us a very little heart attack row at the end of this slalom here in front of us. Beach is on beach and this guy wants to kill us. Why the fuck is he stopping the car in there just for our hearts to skip a bit as he continues? And stopping again at the far end, again to give us another heart attack. This guy wants to kill us today. Stopping at both slaloms. We have serious issues with this imbecile that is trying to kill us with the motion, stopping the car just because. We know that electric scooters do not have that much of a battery, but still, come on, man. You have enough battery to complete the endurance, so let's hope that the car continues to run smoothly as it has been doing so far. We are passing the second overtake area in here on this track. In the meantime, Hybrid 3-1 getting ready at the green flag here at the queue. Getting the final briefing as we see E024 fly by in front of us. Filip Michalski completing the 7th lap of this endurance track. No problem so far. While Raul is preparing the Hybrid 3-1 in front of me right now. For the first half of the endurance event of Timisoara, he will be in charge of getting the car back into the checkerboard flag on one piece and capable of passing the middle scrutineering at the pilot's change. In the meantime, no surprises so far on the E024 apart from the 2 heartbeats that we skipped, the 2 times that the car stopped. And apart from these very, very minor issues, we are good to go. Everything seems to be running very, very smoothly today. But we just started, so don't worry. There are plenty of things that can still go wrong, and we hope they will go wrong, but not for the cars and not in the endurance. As we are completing the 7th lap of the track right now. Mishara is already finished preparing the car. Final briefing for the pilot in here. 024 is completing the first half of this circuit on the part that we cannot really see whether the pilot is getting any penalties by pushing cones, but everything seems clean so far from our perspective right now. And every fucking time that I open my mouth, the car stops exactly at the same position at the end of the slaloms. Philip Michalski, the idiot that waiting for confirmation from track management to get the green flag for hybrid 3-1. And it will be the first moment today where you will be able to see 2 cars simultaneously along the track, as it is customary in this endurance event, as each of the teams takes quite a long time for the teams to complete this event. So we are trying to get as many teams as possible simultaneously while keeping the safety standards. The news that we are having right now is that Timisoara will enter the track the moment that Poznan comes in back home for the. Completing at this moment the last part of lap number 9. We see Poznan still with 5 laps to go to complete this half endurance event. We remind everyone that the full endurance event is 28 laps split into 2 drivers, so 14 and 14 as long as the teams want it, of course. So at the driver's change, we will get Timisoara onto the track. We will see the green flag for Timisoara, and we will be able to enjoy more fun. Right now, completing lap number 10, Poznan. The queue in here is starting to get busy. We have Timisoara, followed by the electric car from the Transylvania University of Brasov, E11. And in the meantime, Poznan picking up slightly the pace on this final slalom along the track. What the fuck is your problem with that cone? Yes, it's still yellow. You don't need to check the color every lap. Thank you for flying past us as they are completing the 10th lap along this. The 12th. Okay, so Filip Michalski listening to our suggestions. He did not check the last cone of this slalom this time. He checked the middle cone, which is also still yellow. As he's completing the 13th lap around this track, only one more lap to go as he's as he's crossing the starting line. Well, he was crossing the starting line when I began this sentence. And when I finished this sentence, the car was already along about half the lap along. So, yeah, life is a bit hard. We will see now if Filip Michalski decides to check the first cone of this last slalom. Make sure that the cone is still in place and still yellow. But we really hope he doesn't. And, on the next lap, he will be seeing the checkerboard flag marking the equator of this endurance event for the team from Poznan for this electric car E024. No colors checked now in this last slalom. No colors checked either on this last gauge as the car flies by in front of us. Passing the last curve, we can see the fans already starting to chime as the checkerboard flag is completing the equator of this event for Poznan. The car will be entering the pilot change area here at the queue, and we're preparing the green flag in here for Timisoara. Engines are starting to roar. This is the first engine sound for this endurance event this morning, as we have an electric car right now along the track. And we will be seeing the first combustion car, this hybrid 3-1 in a moment now. Members starting to gather, starting to chant, both from the Polish and from the Romanian teams, as they are equally excited of what is going on. The car coming in into the area right now, stopping along the track, waiting for confirmation to enter, and we have green flag, and the car stalls. Classical Timisoara move with this very challenging clutch in this car. The team is equally happy that the car started as they were. Completed this half of the endurance event. Raul getting the car in front of us for the first time of the 14 times we will be seeing it. Pushing it into the completion of this very first endurance lap here at the TNT circuit in Desh.
Am cortul media. Da, da, da.
Completing already the first half of this second lap. We see Raul coming onto the last slalom right now. He did not stop to check any colors right now. The motto for the guys from Timisoara: live, laugh, love. Words to live by as Raul pushes onto the last corner for the second lap. In the meantime, we have
Bine, bine.
hybrid 3 to 1 coming on onto the last slalom for this third lap. And a moment from now we will start having two cars simultaneously along the track as Poznan already performed the driver's change and will be ready to enter the track in a moment. We see Timisoara cutting the last corner in this third lap. Completing the first slalom and completing the far end part of the track, Raul is getting the 3 to 1. Raul is getting the 3 to 1 going along the far end of the track smoothly so far. No penalties, no cones, nothing to reproach so far. The event starting smoothly here this very hot and fine morning in Desh. Little bit of wind, as you can see the flag waving as the car comes in front of us for this hairpin turn onto the last slalom. Raul getting the car ready to cross the starting point for this fifth lap now already. Alex Metkovsky getting ready on the board. Adam Smetkovsky. I don't know what the fuck did I say. I do not even remember what I just said, but I don't listen to myself too carefully. Adam Smetkovsky, the car is still Tessal green, as Timi Shora just stopped on this third to last corner. We see no flags by the marshals as Raul gets the car started back again. Coming in front of us. Apparently both Timi Shora and Put have something in common. They are fucking assholes and they like to stop the car, so we can shit our pants thinking that they will not this event. Still working on the electrical scrutineering after the driver's change and clipping the first cone of today's event. Raul working on the last slalom. Passing in front of us for the nth time. I already lost count of the tracks that he's did. I thought it's either the 7th or the 8th lap right now. The starting line. Poznan. Poznan. We are getting ready for Poznan flag as managers are getting also anxious in here to see the car again on the track. Adam confident in the driver's seat, apparently liking the music that he's hearing on the track side as Raul passes by us. The car is still alive, performing so far so good considering the huge problems that they had in the first days of the competition. We remind everybody that Timi Shora are known as the Formula Student Balkans welders. They spent more times at the welding station than they did on the campsite on the first 3 days. They organized 3 welding workshops for the new members along the track, as we are seeing everybody preparing for the green flag. And we have green flag also for Poznan, starting effortlessly this electrical car on this second half of this endurance event. Raul is right now rearranging the track as we see that he's dragging everything that he managed to pull along the track. The slaloms are not slaloms anymore. There are corners that do not exist anymore. Poznan will have a very hard time following the same race line as half of the cones are already. We already had opinion that Timișoara's car is a land mower, not a Formula Student car, but apparently right now is a snow plow also, as the car picked up 3 cones, no less than 3 cones. And in the meantime, we see Poznan completing already the second lap of this second half of the endurance event also. We see that the cars are getting slightly closer, but don't worry, we have overtake areas prepared for them to safely pass one another. We do not let uncontrolled overtakings in Formula Student. Raul finally letting go one of the 3 cones that keep along the track. Don't worry, there is more clipping to be done. Two out of 3 cones out of the line. Impressive performance by the Timișoara team as they are picking up everything they can along the way. Guys, whenever somebody tells you to pick up time, it means time. It does not apply also to cones. You pick up time, you pick up the pace. You do not pick up cones in a racing event. Two cars winding down along the far end of the track. Penalties will fly for Timișoara as each of the cones in the best case scenario is a 2-second penalty. In the worst case scenario, oh, he managed to pick the 3rd cone back again. Timișoara's know-how is working flawlessly. Another cone picked up on this slalom event, getting it slightly easier for that is closing behind. We will see an overtake very, very soon in the track as the marshals are getting tired of arranging everything back again. And on the in the meantime, let me introduce you to some of the marshals that we have today in the track. And the first flag of the day as Timișoara is letting Poznan pass and clear back into the road. Very smooth overtake, coordinated field marshals in here, which will give us a very nice picture of both cars coming closer together in this last end of the track. We remind everyone that we are expecting the times to improve as time passes. On the gasoline cars, as they are getting lighter as they are consuming part of the fuel, but only because the drivers get used to the track, get used to the feel of the car in these particular racing conditions we have here today, and they will be able to slowly pick up the pace, if not even more cones, on this completion of the endurance event, which is slowly taking place.
tot cu baterie, că cred că până atunci și ține.
Poznan flying by again in front of us. He's picking up the pace. The electric car is doing about 1 minute per lap right now, slightly higher, slightly lower depending on the laps, but we're in the whereabouts of 1.0 something. While Timișoara managed to release all the cones and is coming onto the last cone. Poznan passing again in the last hairpin in here in front of us, clearing the slaloms with solvency. The car is Tesal flashing red, which means that the racing conditions are perfect. We are getting information that Timișoara managed to pick 8, not less than 8 cones on this endurance event, apart from the fact that he decided to do this last slalom, however the fuck he considered. Still carrying 1 cone on the front wing. This is the real reason why Formula Student cars have a front wing, so the cars don't get in, so the cones do not get into the wheels. In the meantime, we are getting ready to see the first of Brashov's teams along the track, the electric vehicle E11. We see anxiousness along the car. The car is still not armed, not ready to race, so it will still take some time. But definitely getting it ready. And Timișoara seems to have stalled again, or something seems to have happened on the first turn as he resumes this endurance event today. Poznan is already on the last lap of this endurance event. We will be seeing the checkered flag very, very soon. In the meantime, Timișoara keeps running in any way they manage. It's always nice to see that every time the car passes in front of us, there is a different number of cones on the front wing. We will be taking bets for the number of cones that Timișoara manages to pull on the front wing on the next lap. Timmy guys, did you manage to check if your driver is colorblind? Poznan is on lap number 9. We're correcting the information. We had a bit of a miscommunication with the timing table here at the circuit. So still 5 more laps to go after the completion of this one. As he's getting closer together to Timișoara in this endurance event. Raul is already doing whatever he wants with the slaloms anymore. 1 cone on the front wing as the cars are getting closer together, and he's into the post-scrutineering area. Very clean performance on the Poznan so far for this second driver. Nothing. We saw 3 stops for the first driver in this track on this Theo Poznan Formula Student car, but he's running very smooth on this second half. Adam is taking care of the car, and you can see that he did not pick any cones so far, so no penalties on their behalf. As the car flybys in front of us, completing, if I did not lose the count, the 10th lap right now.
Că pierd, da, nu, că de-aia zic că pierd, știi? Da, nu cred, hai să întorc. Mai fac zoom, nu? Da, e smooth, e ok, am urmărit bine? Da, bun.
Poznan already on lap 11 around this track, and we will be getting something more than interruptions from this live stream event, but we will be getting Brashov's electrical team ready for racing in a moment. We will most likely be waiting for Poznan to complete the endurance before letting Timișoara Brashov join Timișoara in this endurance event. Timișoara after the driver's change, while Brashov will be completing the first half of the endurance. We do not have many cars here today, so we are not really in a rush to have lots of actions in the moment, most likely because the field marshals, together with the rest of the event crew, want to have as much fun as possible. We don't really want to let this event go. We remind everybody that this is the last of the dynamic events of this Formula Student Balkans 2026 competition. We will be having the award ceremony tonight also in here around the track. But before that, let's enjoy one last day of motorsport here at Formula Student Balkans in this fantastic weather, in this fantastic hot asphalt. As the car passes in front of us for one of the last times in this competition. I really mention in this competition because we had a very serious discussion with the Polish guys yesterday evening at the camp, and they are completely forced to come again for the next year's competition here at Formula Student Balkans. Timișoara get ready at the queue in here. They will most likely enter before Brashov, as the driver's change is a chrono event. There is a specific amount of time that the teams need to comply in order not to get a time penalty when doing the driver's change. Poznan taking it slightly slower now in this last 2 laps of this endurance event. We remind everybody that we are in lap 13 for the second. So we will be seeing the last lap flag right now wave in front of Adam. And there it is. Starting the fast lap. Poznan, as we see Timmy with the engine running again. And we have green flag for Timisoara. Way more aggressive start for this half of the endurance event. Darius on Timisoara's Formula Student car completing this first lap of the second round of the event. As you can really tell that Poznan's body starts to feel the heat of this track as he crosses the last corner. And the checkered door flag completing the endurance event for Poznan. Congratulations, Poznan, on completing this endurance event, but we remember we remind everybody that the car still needs to come back into the post-scrutineering area and pass post-scrutineering. As Vila pulls out of the starting point of this track with the E11 from the University of Pennsylvania of Brasov, and to the beginning of this endurance event for the E11 car. And Poznan completing the lines of this track and pulling onto the post-engineering area. While Timisoara passes in front of us. Timisoara on this second lap and now starting. Completing in front of us the first lap of this endurance event for the electrical team from Brasov. Danila at the wheel of this electric single-seater. While we see Timisoara coming onto the hairpin in front of us. Well into the second half of this endurance event, already lap number 3. Flying by in front of us, in front of the supporters that are waiting at that last corner of the track onto the We have E11 passing in front of us for the second time on this second lap around the track. As he's pulling onto the third lap right now as we speak. Brashov coming around the track for one more lap on this electric vehicle that is managing to pull very, very nice and consistent lap times. As Timișoara is on the far end of the track. Timișoara's team, whose favorite movie is Dennis the Menace, and a team that does not really manage to not get injured with zip ties. Considering the fact that they are the welders of this Formula Student competition, we understand why that would be the case, as the car is managing to pull these first laps of the second half of the endurance event without picking up points yet. Timișoara on lap number 5 right now, while Brashov is in lap number 4. Danila is pulling the car right now on starting lap number 5 of the first half, while we have at the same moment Timișoara on lap number 5 of the second half. No activity in the scrutineering area or the queue. We have Poznan, the post-scrutineering, while we have no other cars yet getting ready to enter the track. Timișoara completing lap number 5 now and starting lap number 6 on the second half of this endurance event, while Brashov is in lap number 4 still. Passing in front of us for the 5th time on this lap number 4. Getting cheered by the team members in here on this beautifully... We have... some very nice motorsport for you today, as you can see, since we started this event, and we will be promising nothing else for the rest of this live stream, for the rest of this endurance event. We have Bucharest already pulling onto the queuing area. Still some more time to wait for them for the pilot to wait in their car. As Timișoara winds down lap number 6. Substantially cleaner performance in the second half of the event, as Brashov is slowly gaining time on them. Danila closing the last gaps right now, very, very slow. He made a sign on whether to enter and the car went SL green for a moment and activated back again. We are waiting to see whether the marshals will show any flags, but that's a no. The car manages to start back again. He had a problem with the BSPD, managed to reset the car and resume the race. They are on lap number 5 right now, as Shara is completing lap number 6. Lap 7 and 6, sorry, lap 7 for Timișoara, and another apparently BSPD reset for Brashov at the far end of the track on this first turn. We are still getting green flags from the marshals that were prepared with the yellow flags just in case Timișoara managed to pull distance on the car from Brashov. That has significantly reduced the pace in this first ever endurance event for this new team, just their second year on Formula Student with this electrical vehicle, and they're already fighting for the finishing of the endurance event, which is the most demanding of the events in this Formula Student competitions. The car silently passing the hairpin in front of us. No problems in this last half of the lap, and we hope they don't have any more problems throughout the rest of the race, like Poznan managed to do in the beginning. Picking up a bit more pace in the second half of this now starting seventh lap for Brashov as Timisoara passes in front of us, completing lap number 8 as they will be crossing the starting line. Scrutineers finishing their work at the post-scrutineering of this endurance event is one of the most demanding scrutineering is in all these Formula Student competitions. Danila slowly bringing the car home on this 7th lap, taking it at a slightly lower pace, but without any further incidents since we saw the 2 BSPD resets on the lap number 5. Still something seems to be going on as the car stopped again at the entrance of the pit lane. We will be seeing yellow flags on the track, but apparently no, the car manages to pull again. Timisoara picking up the pace behind Brashov on this event. So we will be seeing a blue flag in a very short time, signaling the driver from Brashov to let himself be overtaken to allow for the faster Timisoara car coming behind them. And there it is, Brashov getting pulled into the overtaking area at the far end of the track. And we are seeing already a green flag for this overtaking on the 8th lap from Brashov, 9th lap for Timisoara. 10th lap for Timisoara? 10th lap for Timisoara as they managed to overtake Brashov. So right now the two cars along the track. Lap number 10 on the second half of this endurance event for Timisoara. Lap number 8 on the first half for this newbie team from the Transylvania University of Brashov in this electric category. None of the drivers is right now pushing the cars too hard. It is clear that they want their cars to finish the endurance event. They are not focusing yet on squeezing the maximum performance that the cars can take. They are just trying to keep them alive so they can complete the 28 laps along this 800 and something meter long track that we have in here. Very hot weather conditions. This puts a strain on the combustion cars in terms of cooling, but it puts also a very huge strain on electric cars in terms of the battery management system that needs to keep the battery at temperature, that needs to keep everything also running within the temperature range for which it was designed. The cars running now in parallel, and it looks like we will be seeing an overtake now on the opposite direction. Brashov onto Timisoara as the pacing of both cars is very irregular, and they are not managing to keep consistent lap times. This is most likely due to the pilots trying to be very, very conservative and not trying to push a millimeter further than what they think that the car can take. Brashov recovering the position, overtaking Timisoara. And we see a green flag also for Timisoara coming out of this overtake zone as the car is managing, as Brashov stops again with the BSPD reset on this last slalom along the track. Quite eventful last laps we're having in here in this endurance event, keeping us at the edge of our seats. You can really see that Danila is disappointed about the fact that he got overtaken twice by Timișoara, that he managed to keep its position for a short time for having this that we just saw right now. Lap number 12 for Timișoara, so 2 more laps to go after the completion of this one for this endurance event, while Brasov is still in lap number 10 of the first half. So plenty more of keeping us in the edge of our seats, while we're hoping for both cars to complete this event today. In the meantime, as there are 2 more laps to go for Timișoara, we already see car number 4 on this endurance event, the Hybrid 069 from the Polytechnic University of Bucharest, getting pulled at the starting line for this very painful event that we have in here today. Timișoara passing in front of us another time, and Brasov picking the pace behind them again. So we may as well see another overtake yet on this final lap for Timișoara in this endurance event. And effectively we are already seeing the blue flag, so Brasov will overtake again. And Brasov is ahead of Timișoara in this lap, as we're seeing the green flag again for Timișoara. Smooth overtakings so far in here, except the one that we saw last, in which Brasov had the reset in here in front. Brasov slowly coming to us. On this 11th lap, on this last part of the 11th lap for car 11 from Brasov. The car still holding in one piece, the car still holding more or less the performance. He's driving slowly intentionally. He's trying to keep the car alive. Same as Timișoara, which is right now on the last meter endurance event. And we're seeing the checkerboard flag for Timișoara as the car passes the finishing line. Congratulations, Timmy, on the completion of the endurance event here today, but don't worry, there is still post-scrutineering to pass, and you know that our scrutineers are as hard as they can be to make sure that everything is up to spec. Brasov on this 12th lap, so 2 more laps to go on this first half of the endurance event. Some scary moments were lived in here from the spectators area of this track in Nireș. And we will be ready to enter the track for Bucharest at any moment. Field Marshal is ready the moment that we see Timișoara pulling onto the driver change area and onto the post-scrutineering. We will see the green flag for Bucharest most likely. Petrica at the wheel of this 069 hybrid single-seater getting the green flag and aggressively starting this endurance event for the team from Bucharest, from the of Science and Technology in Bucharest, and starting the endurance event as he crosses the starting line onto the first slalom, onto the first turn of this very long and painful 28 laps along this track here. As we see Brashov right now, number 13. And winding down the far end of the track, we have Bucharest right now onto the first lap as we see Brashov completing the last lap of this first half of the endurance event. We see Alex Banu, our field marshal, at the starting line waving the checkerboard flag, signaling the completion of the first half of the endurance event, of their first ever endurance event for Brashov in this Formula Student Balkans competition, in their first ever Formula Student competition. As Bucharest is picking up fastly the pace behind them. It's a car just remodeled for the one from last year. It's an evolution from last year's car. Plenty of improvements, so it's a performance that they actually know. We will be probably seeing in the next lap a blue flag for Brashov. The cars are still further apart, so probably Brashov will manage to pull onto the driver change area before we are actually seeing a blue flag. But from our perspective, we have the two cars running in parallel in the far end of the track. Is difficult to see from this point of view whether they are on the same stretch or not. As Brashov is completing the last slalom on this cooldown lap, entering the driver change area. Petrica, you can see the team in Brashov happy about their car completing the first half of the endurance event and preparing for driver change, getting the car ready, trying to see if there is something to fix with this after these BSPD resets as Bucharest continues on to first half of the track in here for this endurance event. On this second lap for this Bucharest Hybrid 069 car. Timișoara just passed the post-scrutineering, validating the endurance event that they did here today. Scrutineers seemed happy. Had huge troubles yesterday during the autocross event. We managed to see nothing go wrong for them today. We certainly look happy with this TSR 4 Evo car that are bringing this year's competition, while Petrica is already in the lap of this endurance event of these 28 laps. Finishing lap number 3, Petrica is bringing the car onto lap number 4 of this endurance event. Drivers change being completed for the electric team from Brasov. Passing the hairpin in front of us. Petrika in the Hybrid 69, bringing it at a consistent pace on this fourth lap of this endurance event. You can see the lateral acceleration forces of this tries to squeeze the maximum performance on the turns. And the electric car is getting pulled out at the first spot, at the starting point of this endurance event for the half. Andrei Pavel arming the E11 car, ready for the second half of this endurance event. As we are still seeing Bucharest on lap number 5 of these first 14 laps, on these first 14 laps of this first half of this endurance event here today. A car that performed beautifully in last year's season. It has been modified, improved, and we expect an even better performance this year. All the aero package is new. Substantial modifications also on the powertrain side, and getting the car winding down the track in here in this. While we're seeing the green flag on this second half that is starting for the electrical team from Brasov. Andrei and Petrika, the two guys that you're seeing right now, driving the two cars that we have along the track. Sixth lap for Bucharest, first lap on this second half of the endurance event for Brasov. 13 laps to go for Brasov in this endurance event overall, while Bucharest still have a great deal of the event in front of them. No troubles whatsoever in both cars, and we hope they keep it this way. Team members for Brasov giving indications to their driver as it's passing in front of them, telling them their opinion on how the car should be driven in order to complete the endurance event here today. They were telling him to keep calm and keep driving, so we'll probably be seeing rhythm pick up pace as Brasov nears the completion of the endurance event rather than push from the beginning. Very exciting day in here, but also very hot, so remember to keep hydrated if you are staying in the sun. Easy to forget oneself what you are having that much fun watching the cars go along the track. We see Brashov's car with another BSPD reset at the end of the first slalom. In front of us again, as Brashov is also in front of us in this hairpin onto the last slalom, as Petrika is crossing the starting point for a new lap along this track. Not pushing the car yet for the Brashov team as they complete another along.
Deci Brașov, da? Na, eram pe ei, dar s-au dus în colțul ăla unde nu...
Bucharest on lap number 9 right now, still 5 more to go in order to complete the first half of this endurance event. 11 laps to go still for Brashov for the completion of this second half of the endurance event, so 11 laps overall for the completion of the event altogether. Passing in front of us, we can already start to feel the driver getting tired as he is taking the turns a little more sluggish. To lap number 10 right now, while the pilots may be getting tired as Brashov is completing this lap number 3 in front of us. They are certainly keeping it tight, no penalties so far for neither of the two cars that are along the track. Horrible from our perspective, the fact that we cannot see the very, very far end of the track as the cars disappear behind some trees, and we never know if they will be coming out of there in a single piece. But they have been doing so far, and that makes us very, very happy. We have Bucharest onto lap 11 now. Onto lap 11, so counting this one, still 4 more laps to go for Bucharest. And then we'll be seeing the drivers change. The excitement in the pits as they are cheering up the two cars that already managed to fill the endurance without any major issues. Petrika passing in front of us for one more time in this endurance event. Up 11. 3 more.
repoziționez. Pot să mă repoziționez.
La București, lap 12.
Lap number 2 for Bucharest already started. As Brashov passes in front of us, trying to keep it cool, trying to keep it smooth, trying not to give up to the need for speed that any good racing pilot feels the moment that he gets into the car. Controlling one's emotions, a very important part of the driving experience along any track in this planet. Otherwise, you will not be a good endurance driver. You need to understand when to push and when to hold back your instincts. You need to understand very well the car's performance to make sure that you bring it home at the end of this event. While Petrica is completing lap number 12. No, this is lap onto the last lap of this half endurance event.
Gata, sunt pregătit să preiau pe cine zic.
Brashov continuing flawlessly this endurance event on the second half, while Petrica is already on the last lap right now. We are seeing the checkerboard flag already for Bucharest, completing the first half of this endurance event, reaching the equator of this final test of driver skill and of engineering while building these beautiful single-seaters. We have next to us right now the team members from E11 discussing strategy. They are like old grandmothers talking about their beautiful children, trying to debate whose grandchildren is better at everything they do. And in the meantime, they look very, very excited. They are actually talking about the batteries, strategies, and what the fuck to do whenever they finish this endurance event, so they can just go back to the camp, sleep and drink until tonight, as the car passes one more time in front of us. Starting lap 9 for Brashov right now. Still 5 more laps to go. While Petrica pulls into the driver change area. Not much excitement from the Bucharest team members as their car pulls into the driver change area. These may mean two things. They are either sleeping and they are fucking assholes, or they are just very, very, very confident on their car, so there is absolutely no reason to feel any excitement when something behaves as it should. Guys, university is over. We are not ready. You are allowed to make noise if you want. Feel free to make noise. Feel free to cheer. Brashov in front of us on this hairpin onto the last slalom on this endurance track. Still 4 more laps to go the moment that he will pass the starting point of this track. This E11 on lap 24 overall in this endurance event. And he stops right in front of the starting point for this lap number 10. We are seeing a yellow flag, of course, but as E11 is right now the only car around the track, it's not very relevant. The marshals will leave some lead time to the driver to try to restart the vehicle. Luckily, there is not a horrible right now as no other cars on the track, but of course problems are hard to handle. They are having problems with the cooling down of the inverter. We are seeing the pilot trying to cool down a bit the inverter. The team members were explaining us that they have a non-working inverter cooling system, meaning that in this very hot day today, the inverter gets hot and it needs to cool down again. This is the reason why the car has been stopping in these last few times. The car is being pushed out onto the grass, most likely, definitely. The car is being pulled onto the grass as second driver for the Bucharest team is already ready and focused. Mihnia keeping it cool in this very, very hot temperature in here today. He will try to bring back the endurance event for the Bucharest team, 14 laps ahead of him. A very hot day, and cooling seems to be the primary problem here along the track. Keeping the temperatures up to check. As we are seeing the pilot from Brashov's electric trim already egress the car, Danila out of the driver's seat, disappointed like any good driver would be, but it's important to realize the effort that these guys made on this first ever endurance event in a Formula Student competition. And we are very, very sure that they will do infinitely better on the next competition next week. And we are seeing the green flag with Mihnia pulling onto the track. He crosses the starting line right now in front of him, 14 laps. In laps, full of cones, full of challenges, and full of excitement. Congratulations, Blue Streamline Electric, on this titanic effort of getting your car ready for this endurance event, on able to run 24 laps of this endurance event almost flawlessly, even despite having the problems with the cooling of the inverter. The performance was amazing. Let's remind everybody that this is the first ever participation on an endurance event. And very, very few teams managed to complete that many kilometers on the first try of an endurance event on racing conditions along a very challenging track. So congratulations, guys. Don't be very hard on yourself because you did amazing in this competition. As we are seeing Michner right now on lap number 1 on this second half and pulling on to lap number 2 of this endurance event. And at the same time, we are getting Brashov's car prepared, ready to race.
L-am pe Brașov. Deci plec de pe mașina stricată. Confirm.
As the day progresses, we will be seeing faster and faster cars, most likely, as we are running again. Reminder for everybody that does not know how these type of events run, which is almost nobody, that we are running in reverse order from the autocross timing yesterday. We have today the most dynamic of the dynamic events in this Formula Student competition. We are in the endurance. If you are joining us from Singapore and you are about to go to sleep right now, remember that we are in the endurance event at Formula Student Balkans. For all our fans in Palau also that stayed overnight to watch live this endurance event. As we are getting already engine on with Florin at the wheel for this 111 for this combustion engine Blue Streamline car. Checking last pressures at the last moment as Bucharest starts a new lap on this new lap day. Event management sweat in front of us, waiting for confirmation that the track is ready, while they are still doing final checks. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. Florin's words on this first half of the endurance event for Blue Streamline's combustion engine as Petrica passes on his fourth lap in front of us right now. Completing lap number 4, still 10 more laps to go to complete the endurance event. The team from Bucharest as we are getting ready for the start of the endurance event for Brashov's combustion engine vehicle. And they are off. Blue line is off. Onto the first corner. Starting the first lap for Blue Streamline. We have now on the track. Quick reminder, Michne at the wheel of this DR06 Pro Max on this 10th lap of the track, clipping out a cone in here at the slalom. While we have Danny at the wheel of the BS26 single-seater, closing it fast from behind. That's a very, very fast and agile car. We are used to this kind of performance by Brashov. Slight oversteering like we like to see in all these Formula Student cars, both of them along the track. Huge acceleration coming onto the second lap for this endurance event today. We will be seeing for sure blue flag in a moment in the next area as Danny is closing in behind Michne at a horribly fast-paced race. And the blue flag is already prepared at the end of the track. It looks like we are on a two-car formation lap right now as they start, both of them, the slalom at the beginning of the... we have already the blue flag being waved, signaling Bucharest to let himself be overtaken. Very, very quick overtakes, so almost no time lost for Bucharest. Very good coordination in there, although Danny was closing in for some time, so he lost a few seconds following Bucharest car until the overtaking area where the action happened. You can really tell that Brashov is confident on the performance of the car by the fact that they are pushing as much as they want, knowing that the car will deliver, while Bucharest is trying to keep it way chiller, at a way slower pace, goals being completely different for the two drivers right now in this event. Bucharest is trying to bring it home with an acceptable time, while Brashov is trying to compete and pull the maximum out of the performance of this car. This year's Formula Student Balkans competition is the only one, and it's the only event the team from Bucharest is participating, while for Brashov is 1 out of 5 competitions they will be seeing this summer. So they are using this competition to make sure that they can squeeze out any performance that they have available in their car before going to more competitive events for the rest of the season. A bit of an oversteer we expect to see these cars at slow speeds. Very good handling characteristic. While we see Michne pulling through the starting line for a new lap. 5 more laps to go for Bucharest as they enter onto lap number 9. Brashov is pulling right now the last turns of lap number 5 for this first half of the endurance event, clipping 2 cones in this starting lap number. keeping it clean, keeping it tight, and running a bit slower than Brashov, not much slower. We may yet see another. We may yet see Brashov over Bucharest in the remaining 4 laps for Bucharest. We'll see what. We'll see what this race prepares for the remaining laps. Brashov crossing the equator for this first driver as they move into lap number 7 out of the 14 that Danny will be driving on this BS26. While Michna is driving the car at a constant pace, at a conservative pace on this lap number 10. And Brashov is closing in very, very fast, so we're expecting to see a blue flag any moment now, probably also at the far end of the track, as lap times are substantially faster for Brashov as they are for Bucharest, that everything is standing.
Deci eu mă repoziționez, da? Să trăiască la mulți ani. Bine, bine, bine.
Already caught up, we see the blue flag being waved. So there will be an overtake here in front of us. And there it is. Brashov pulling past Michna again in this BS26. Very, very, very fast car. Both cars driving tight along the corners. Passing in front of us on this hairpin that we have to the last slalom for Danny on this next lap, keeping the performance up. Flying on to lap number 10 on this endurance event, while Michna is keeping it consistent, if slow but consistent, slowly through this endurance event in this lap for Bucharest. Lap number 10 for car 111, and pulling on the last chicane, and onto lap 11 for We have Alex Manu already getting prepared with the last lap flag. Daniel for the last lap. Ande Caballo Grande. And we have Bucharest. And we have Bucharest. We have Bucharest passing in front of us on this last hairpin of this last lap. We're seeing the checkerboard flag any moment now. And we have the checkerboard flag prepared. And there it is, the completion of the endurance event for Bucharest. While Danny is passing in front of us very, very strongly. Only job to be done now by Bucharest is bringing the car into the post-scrutineering, onto the post-scrutineering area and getting the post-scrutineering done in order for the results of this endurance event to be validated. While there is still some work for Brashov to be done, they are still pending the second half of this endurance event, the moment that Danny will pull into the pit lane after the completion of these remaining laps of this first leg. Is lap number 13 for Brashov on this first half of the endurance. No problem so far. Going fast, pushing as needed. As Migne is being signaled to enter the post-scrutineering area, pulling on their own foot onto the post-scrutineering, while we are seeing Brashov pull through. The checkerboard flag is prepared. It was a bit of confusion on our side as we did not see the last lap flag. But this was lap 14, and there we go. The equator of the endurance event for Brashov on their combustion car. No trouble whatsoever. The car stopping just after completing the car stopped after lap number 14, but Danny managed to restart the car and he's driving back to the driver change area. We would like, for the hope of cardiologists, to be able to see an endurance event without events. As Danny is pulling into the driver change Deci ai numărat perfect, e bine.
Perfect, vreau
Da.
public apology. Noroc că au trecut 14 ciori.
Nu ciori, mă, berze, mă! Ciorii au trecut înainte cu căruța pe...
Care nu vedea.
Artur Cluj, this E017 car already got the green flag to start this endurance and getting on to the starting point of this first 14 laps for the first driver. Driver change performed already for Brashov team. Armenciu driving the first lap around this challenging endurance track here in Dej, while Sepp is getting ready on the 111 car for the second half of this endurance event. These are the two last cars that we will be seeing today complete the endurance, and I say complete the endurance because I have faith in you. You need to think that if your car stops along the track, I will force you to push the car through the remaining laps of this endurance event, because for my ball's sake, you are completing the 28 laps. We see the car being pulled onto the starting flag area. And he will be signaled the green flag very soon as we have track manager's confirmation that he's go. And go! We are off for the second half of this endurance event by Blue Streamline Combustion Team. Going in through the starting point on this first lap. Sepp passing in front of us for one of many times. The car stalling on this last chicane. Restarting the engine. Guys, I will destroy you this evening because you are making me very anxious. We have green flags along the way again. Cars running on the track. The only thing that is not smooth. I am very glad. Very nice time lapse by Brashov, pushing the car as much as they can, while Artur Cluj-Napoca is silently work. Armenciu Armentiu driving cleanly across the multiple cones that we set for him. Parts of the track are forcing the pilots to go at the limit of their driving skills and at the limit of the car's performance. As we're seeing, the Artur Cluj-Napoca car is 0.17 on lap number 5, while Brashov is on lap number 4 of the second half. This endurance event is proving to be smoother than the hiccups that we are getting along the way. Flying up, Sepp is pushing the car, getting more and more wheel spin on the turns, meaning that the tires are getting temperature and he's getting confident on the grip that he's getting on the turns. Again, in front of us for one new lap, for one new day, is Artur Cluj-Napoca's electric vehicle. Lap number 7 for Artur Cluj-Napoca, while it's lap number 6 for Brashov. Cluj-Napoca crossing the equator of this first half endurance event, while we have another stop by Brashov. Restarting the car again. And he's back on the racing line on this lap number 6. Again, a bit of a wheel spin in the last chicane and on to lap number 7. We can hear him as they are getting the car into the pits after the completion of this endurance event. And in the meantime, we have two passing in front of us with Artur's electrical vehicle. Something clean, something smooth, something out of a computer game. While BS26 is a rough car, it gives us a trail of burned gasoline every time that it passes in front of us. 5 more laps to go for Cluj on this first half of the endurance event. Six more laps to go for Brashov to complete the endurance. While we see him onto the last slalom on this track today. This lap onto the last 5 final laps of this endurance. Maximum focus for from everybody in here on the tracks, spectators or team members, as we are watching these last 2 cars complete the endurance event. Brashov catching up with Artur Cluj-Napoca slowly. We will probably be seeing a blue flag somewhere in the next lap, as they are pulling more from the car. Times are significantly faster for Brashov than for Artur Cluj-Napoca. And there it is, we have the blue flag on the overtaking area that we have in front of us right now. Artur giving way for Brashov to unleash the beast, to unleash all the power that they can get out of this BS26 car, while Artur Cluj-Napoca continue their race. 4 laps for Brashov. There we go, 11 of these Artur Cluj-Napoca passing in front of the hairpin, while BS26 driven by Sepp has still 3 more laps to go on this endurance event, as he effortlessly sails last cones. Different speeds, different driving styles, but they both make it seem easy. Make it sound like effortlessly they drive the cars, which is really not the case. Driving these vehicles is something very, very complex, particularly considering that they are not action vehicles. Anything can go wrong, everything will go wrong, and you need to be able to fix it without the car stopping. And coming on to lap number 12, as the car passes by, 2 more laps left for Brashov. We are preparing to see the last lap flag for Artur Cluj-Napoca, as they will be starting lap 14 right on this this first half of this first half of the endurance. of this first half of the endurance event. We will be seeing also the last flag for the blue stream line with one more lap to go on this endurance event for Brasov. So enjoy it, guys, because this is the last lap that you will see in this competition by any of the combustion cars that we have in here. And we still have the checkerboard flag for Artur Cluj-Napoca, which means that we we still have half of the endurance event on cool down lap. Onto the cooldown lap for Artur Cluj-Napoca, and finishing the endurance event for Brasov. As he's not trying to push the car in this last lap, we see the checkerboard flag, which means that we Artur Cluj-Napoca onto the driver change as blue stream line still on the track. On the cooldown lap, he will be pulling onto the post-scrutineering after completing the endurance event. We expect no problems pulling up on the post-scrutineering, and we will see the car turning off the engine for the last time in this competition. We will have a short time to breathe while Artur Cluj-Napoca is still doing the driver change for their second half of the endurance event. Post-scrutineering going on for Blue Stream Line's 111 car. We are still Tesal green in Artur Cluj-Napoca's car, which means that there is still a bit of time until they will manage to get into the track again. And it went live, which means that we are going to start very, very soon. Marshals are taking a 2-minute break, so there will be a very, very short hiatus on this event as we are waiting for everybody to get in position. Let's remind everybody that the marshals are very professional, but they are human too. And it's 35 degrees in the shadow right now along the track. So a bit of patience will do good for everybody, as we will be facing the last half of this endurance event for R2 Cluj-Napoca Z017. The last 14 laps that we expect to see in this Formula Student Balkans 2026 competition. An electric car is the electric car that opened the event with the first participation onto the acceleration event on Wednesday, and that will be closing also the dynamic event today with the last run on the endurance event. So we will complete the circle for the team that is playing at home, from the team that is from Cluj-Napoca, 1 hour away from the circuit here in Dej. Ionuț Banica at the wheel of this E017, getting some wind from the distance. Ionuț Banica, whose motto is so long and shameful that we will not even repeat in here. I mean, eat, pray, love would be better than what he said that he has the words to live by. So we will completely ignore him. We will let poetry to others, and we will let him drive the car, which is the only thing that we are sure that he knows how to do. In a moment, we will have all the marshals in position. And as soon as that happens, we will have for you the green flag that will mark the beginning of the 14 laps that are left in this endurance event. Very, very, very hot day today here. For everybody that is standing on the sun understands how difficult it is for the pilots. Marshals are in position. We are waiting for track manager confirmation that we are good to go. The dynamic area is cleared, the car is armed and ready to go. 14 laps, roughly 12 kilometers of track ahead of us. And there we go. The car is off. And on to the starting point for the remaining 14 laps in this event. And there we go. We are off. 14 more laps of motorsport here around this track. Danny is giving me insightful information of his movements, saying that he is leaving. Congratulations. You are free to move. You are the event manager. In the meantime, R2 Cluj-Napoca's car passing on the hairpin in front of us and on to the second slalom of the day. Lap number 1 out of 14. Full attention for them as they are the only one left in the track. And onto the left corners, onto lap number 2. This is the Ionut Banica making the car fly along the track. A car that looks slow, but it isn't. The car that got the best time on the autocross event yesterday with 61 seconds. 1 minute, 1 second to complete a course that was way more challenging than what we have today. It had additional 2 more slaloms. As we see the car passing in front of us right now. Onto the last corner completion. Onto lap number 3. Car passing in front of us now, and by us I mean me and Dragos that are at the last hairpin of this track. Lot of wheel spinning in here, making it sound very nice, giving us the tire noise that we like from any car. Something that electric cars are very good at is letting you hear the tires working on the asphalt. Usually combustion cars, by being way louder than the car, don't give the feel. We are just doing our rounds, checking the mental state of the marshal. We remind everybody that the marshals are idiots by definition, so their mental state is not very good. But we want to make sure that their level of idiocy is constant along the way. Remember that a marshal is a guy that does nothing for 99.999% of the time, and then they need a 0.1 second reaction the moment that something goes wrong. So you keep the focus on nothing for most of the time. You need to be able to react fast. As we see the car with some more drifting in here in the last hairpin onto the last portion of the track, onto the last slalom and onto the last 2 corners. R2 Cluj-Napoca, the team that represents everything that is corporate in Formula Student Romania. In all the community of Formula Student in Romania, in this Formula Student Balkans, we cannot but like these guys because they managed to pull a car that is substantially better than the performance that they got last year.